Hey everybody, welcome back to Foil Fridays from MacKiteboarding.com. This is Tucker, and today I'm going to walk you through a few smaller accessory items or some new hydrofoil items that you may have not noticed. Some of the stuff is new to our website or just totally exclusive to our shop. So it's some cool stuff to take note of if you haven't noticed it already, and I'll walk you through some of this stuff and hopefully you'll find it kind of interesting. Let's jump right into it here. So we'll start over here with some Moses product. We've got some new Moses product, and I should say Moses accessories, not actually made by Moses. All this stuff is exclusive to our shop that we help design and really think that helps take the Moses products to the next level, or just makes them more adaptable or easy to use or what have you. So we'll start with our Super Fuse. That's what we've named it. It's a fuselage. It's a surf fuselage for their surf wings, and it's got a couple of neat features on it. Number one, it's got a mast pocket that's adjustable, so you can have it in the standard position back here or the forward position here, and really that just allows a more natural pivoting kind of a foil on some of their bigger wings. If you're noticing that you're standing further ahead of the mast than you'd like, that's going to allow you to move your mast forward without necessarily moving your wings, at least in relation to your stance. So it just gives you a little bit more pivotal turning from the foil, and allows just a little bit of extra maneuverability on those bigger liftier wings, or on something like a 633. If you're really finding that you're standing far in front of the mast, you're losing maneuverability when you're doing that. So allowing you to move your mast forward helps with that. Secondarily, if you're on a short board, like a micro size kite hydrofoil board, this is going to allow you to drop your stance back a little bit, so you can actually move the wings further back on the board, so you're not just standing on the nose the whole time. Sometimes that can be a problem with some of the Moses hydrofoils. If you're riding a really small board, you have to stand further forward, and you don't want to be falling off the front of your board, so that'll allow you to change that. Next thing that this does is it allows you some different stabilizer options. So if you look at the back of this fuselage here, we've got 3 different mounting positions for the stabilizer, and you've also got an option, since it has a mast seat, to put some shims underneath that and change the stabilizer angle slightly to either get more lift or less lift or higher top speed, with a flatter angle. So that really, gives you those options that you normally wouldn't have, as well as, 3 different length fuselages effectively, so you can change your maneuverability on your foil. This one I'm holding here right now is the 710 equivalent. So it's on the longest setting, it's 710. And if you go to the shorter setting, it's 690 millimeters. So that gives you some good adjustment and allows you to loosen up your foil, tighten your turning radius if you want to do that, and have different options, depending on which wings and stabilizers you're using. There's different reasons to do that, but it allows you to play around with that and really liven up your foil if you want to do that. You heard me say this, the 710. Behind me we have, and before I move on, these are our shims. Super Fuse comes with 2 shims, and they're angled like that. So you just slip those under the stabilizer seat, and that'll change the angle. Really, we find that lowering the angle of attack on the stabilizer is going to make it, ride a little faster, a little bit more glidey, get a little bit flatter pitch curve. Adding more pitch to the Moses wings, there's reasons to do that, for riding at slow speeds or light winds or something, but we really find that flattening them out works a little better than adding angle of attack to that stabilizer, since they've already got a pretty aggressive angle of attack. Anyway, so moving on, 710 Super Fuse. Now we have an 880 Super Fuse, And I've got this mounted with my wing foiling wings here for lighter winds. And you can see how that kind of plays out with where the stabilizer is mounted right now. It's in the tighter position. So this will ride more like a 710. But on a longer position, this fuselage for wing foiling and paddleboarding is going to give you a little bit bigger sweet spot for where you're standing. It's going to improve your glide and reduce your stall speed. So, you know, when you're riding and cruising and gliding around, this really makes your life a lot easier, allows you to glide further, and you can you know, shift your weight a little bit more in transitions without having to worry about, you know, making a big mistake doing that on the longer fuse setting anyway. One drawback of that is it does make your pitch a little less sensitive. If you're a heavier guy, it'll actually improve your pumping ability. But if you're a lighter person, you know, the longer fuse length might inhibit, you know, your pumping a little bit, just because it takes a little longer, you know, to complete a pump, and you don't have a lot of weight, you know, to create that thrust out of a longer fuselage. But for the most part, it just makes your life a lot easier. If you're learning to wing foil, this is an amazing fuselage, makes your life a lot easier. And you can see, you know, I have my 1100 wing here, fits great. Also has the mass pocket on the wing foiling 880 fuselage here. Windsurfers will also find this fuselage to be a nice combination here. So that's the Super Fuse, 2 different lengths now, and those are really fun. Another Moses product that we've developed and think is really nifty are our front wing adapters. So with the Moses system, you either have surf wings or kite wings, and they have to go on a corresponding surf fuselage or kite fuselage. And that's great, except if you have more wings and you have, you know, surf wings and kite wings, because now you always have to carry around 2 fuselages. One thing that we've developed for that is these little adapters. So this one here will allow you to turn your kite fuselage and allow you to connect your surf wings to that. As you can tell, it's hollowed out, so it's really lightweight and really doesn't add much weight. But in terms of travel or, you know, expense, if you're looking at, you know, how much it costs to buy a new fuselage versus an adapter, this is a cool little option to do that. And if you're traveling, of course, it's lighter weight, less stuff to pack with you. And then here we have the opposite, which allows you to change your surf fuselage and use kite wings with it. And that's what that one looks like. And this one's actually a prototype, so it's anodized red. These are all black now. So check those out on our website if you're looking to do that or think that's kind of interesting, want to try it out. Moving along here, some more interesting foiling and wing foiling products come from NSI. So NSI has been around a long time. They make the majority of their stuff in the United States. They're really cool people, and they're always, you know, thinking forward on, you know, what people need and what kind of accessories, you know, make sense and are practical. So with that, we've helped them design a wing foiling waist leash. It's got a nice waist belt here. It's one size. It adjusts to fit whatever. If you want, you can trim it off and, you know, burn it just to sew in the ends if you're a smaller person. But it's got a really nice neoprene cover, so it's not chafing at your stomach and ribs and stuff. Comes with a leash. It's a bungee leash on a nylon cord, so this is really reliable, strong stuff. And you can use this for connecting your wing to your waist if you want to use that rather than a wrist leash. You can actually also use this on boards, so as a board leash to a waist leash, and you can use that using, you know, this bungee cord, or a lot of times I'll even just take a straight surf leash and loop it around the waist belt on this. So this will allow you to do that. Very simple, effective, great product, pretty affordable if you're looking for something like that. From NSI also, we have their Ultralight foot straps. So these have always been really handy, you know, if you want a simple, lightweight strap. But what we've found recently is that they work exceptionally well for wing foiling and for surf foiling subfoiling to. If you want a lightweight, low profile strap, you know, with wing foiling and prone foiling especially, you know, there are times when you're laying down on your straps, excuse me, there are times when you're laying down on your straps, having a really thin, soft, low profile strap helps to make that more comfortable. A lot of our guys will even take the stitching on this NSI thing and cut it off, so this little bump is not there anymore. They're really affordable straps, and they're not going to change. They're not going to change size on you midway through if you accidentally bump them or kick them or something. You know, they screw in, you know, with these, you know, wherever you want to set them for your width and your size, and then they're just always there like that, always reliable. And if you manage to step on one, you know, it's really not going to ruin your ride. It's not going to, you know, hurt your foot. So these are really handy, really nice weight, affordable strap, and this has been kind of our go-to strap for wing foiling and prone foiling. Lastly, we've kind of just put this one together. Very simple product again, but this is a universal wing foiling harness line. So if you're out there wing foiling and your arms are getting really tired, or if you just want to lean back and relax and cruise, putting on a harness and hooking into a harness line is going to allow you to either ride a lot longer without fatigue, or just lay back into it and relax a little bit more. We actually find you drive upwind better when hooked into a harness as well, because you're not being pulled over by your arms. You know, you're really centralizing that point of pull, that center of gravity, and you can sink down into it and lean into it a little bit better to drive upwind, or ride with more power. So these things are really nifty. All of us are loving harness lines and really find that it's, you know, the only way for us, not being hardcore windsurfers and don't have that strength, to go ride for 3 or 4 hours at a time. You know, otherwise it can be pretty exhausting. So what we have here is the universal harness line. It is comprised of the F1 harness line here and a pigtail. And we like the F1 the best out of harness lines we've tried, because it's simple, it's straightforward, it's durable, and it's adjustable. So up here you've got a few different knots. You just Lark's head around, you know, whichever knot you want to put it on, and that'll help you adjust the length of the line, you know, for where you're putting it on for where you're putting it on the wing, or where, you know, your arm reach is. So you can adjust it for your arm length or where you prefer to have it as well. And the reason you need the pigtail is if you're connecting to a wing that doesn't have harness line pigtails, which a lot of them don't right now, you can connect to the handles, and you need the pigtail to create the connection on this end. You just simply loop it around, you know, loop it around your handle like that, and then connect the knot to this here. Sorry guys, taking you for a wild ride here. And now you're ready to go. You do the same thing on the other end. You know, just connecting this loop end into your handle, and that allows you to connect your leash, or excuse me, to connect your harness line into your wing and hook into a harness. So that's really handy. In terms of harnesses we're using for wing foiling, we're finding the really soft, flexible ones work best, really low profile. Real basic, simple harnesses are the best option. If you have something really hard or rigid, you know, it can be kind of hard to maneuver up to the board and stand up, and from your knees to standing. And, you know, really it's a lot more structure than you need for wing foiling. It's not like kiteboarding where you need a lot of, you know, rigidity to give you that support. Really don't need that. So, you know, go out and find yourself a real nice, affordable, soft harness for winging, and they work really well. We actually prefer windsurfing spreader bars, because the spreader bars are a little less closed off and they're a little smaller, so they tend to unhook easier. Kiteboarding spreader bars work fine as well. They can just be a little more finicky with how they unhook from time to time, but you know, you get that you know, pull tension or create slack and push down kind of motion figured out. And really, you know, it comes a lot easier with some practice. So that's that. These are some cool new products that we have available at mattkiteboarding.com. Go ahead and click in on the eye icon to our foil boarding knowledge center, and we'll be sure to drop some links to product areas for these in our website if you're interested in seeing more, if you want to buy one. And that's that. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put that in the comments section below. Give us a thumbs up if you appreciated the video and want to see more. And of course, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of our videos and get updated when they drop, which we try to do about weekly for Foil Fridays, but it's been very busy here at the shop, so maybe bi-monthly at this point. But we're working hard to get more exciting videos to you guys, so keep an eye out for those. This has been Tucker with mattkiteboarding.com, and we'll see you next time.